So I did not hit my 2024 goals this year, but that's okay because I know exactly why and I know what I'm gonna do to fix it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, what's up? My name is Andrea. If you guys are returning, thank you so much for coming back, y'all. Today, we are talking about goal planning and setting goals with God in 2025. Now, I know you're probably like, okay, well, boo-boo, if you didn't hit your goals in 2024, why do we feel like we need to listen to you for 2025? Let me tell you why, okay? And here's the thing. You can listen, you don't have to. Either way, but I'm explaining to you what I'm doing in 2025 because I know what I did wrong in 2024, okay? I know what happened. I know where I fell short. I have an idea of all of that. So I want to share with you guys what I am doing this year to set my goals in 2025 with God in a sustainable and an actual achievable way. I know for me, it has to be simple in order to be effective when it comes to things like this. And for me, I overcomplicated it in the past. And I'm gonna walk you guys through what I'm doing this year for goal setting. I am using a bit of the principles from a book called The 12-Week Year, and I am kind of making it my own in a way. So anyway, let's jump into how I'm planning for success in 2025. A big key that I feel like is so important, number one, is to be real with how your last year went. So how did 2024 go? I have to be real with myself. If I sugarcoat it to myself, if I try to skip over, but well, oh, this happened and that happened, that's like, that all may be true, but let's not skip over it because those are things we need to factor in and actually like account for in the following year, especially if we didn't hit the goal, like all of the goals that we wanted to achieve. So I would say take note of how 2024 went, what you feel like you could have done better, how you felt during the year, what it meant for you not to hit those goals. I want you to write all of that down. What do you feel like were obstacles from keeping you to reach those goals? Like all of this is so important as we're setting ourselves up for success in 2025. I'm realizing too is that I set my goals in 2024. However, I did a horrible job of setting systems that were sustainable and achievable for myself, knowing my schedule, knowing everything that I have going on in life. I did not factor all of that in. And so that is where I believe I failed in 2024 when it came to goal setting. And how I know that is because I've done it in past years and it's worked. It's worked for me. And so I'm going back to like the tried and true stuff I've done from years past. And so anywho, like I had a vision board. Guess what that vision board is, y'all? Not on the wall. Okay, it's not in front of me. So another thing I feel like I did wrong in 2024, or that I see as a moment for improvement, whatever, is I did not keep my goals in front of me. If I'm being so honest, like the notebook I wrote my goals in, you guys, guess when I opened it? The most recent time I opened it was when I was setting my 2025 goals. Like, huh? Like, what do you mean? I set my goals that following year in that November before 2023 or 2024, sorry. And so I did not open that notebook again until recently. So I didn't know I didn't even remember what my goals were. I wasn't having systems that set myself up in order to achieve those goals. So one thing I'm doing in 2025, and lesson learned, okay? Like this is not a moment for us to beat ourselves up, to be down on ourselves, none of that. It's just, I want you to take note of what worked, what didn't work, so that we can do better next time. That's literally all it is. So for me, I need to make sure I keep my goals in front of me. Especially sometimes my schedule gets a little busy and there's a lot of different things going on, but I need to make sure that like I am planning out the actions that I want in order to reach the goal I'm trying to get to, the goals I'm trying to get to. So just a note for you guys, I feel like that's really, really important, is be sure you're keeping your goals in front of you and recognizing like, what do you feel went right? What do you feel like went wrong? How did you feel in 2024? And how do you want to feel differently in 2025? Okay, so step number 2, you guys, is I want you to think through what your goals are for 2025, okay? I want you to be so specific about what your goals are, okay? And I also want you to make sure these are your goals and not goals that you have come up with because of everybody else you see out here doing all these other things. What do you want? Okay, what do you actually want? And I've found myself getting caught up on that over the years as well. And I'm just being completely honest with you guys, completely transparent. Like I would see somebody online, I'm like, oh, I love the brand she's building. I love what she has going on over here. And now I'm emulating something that God never called me to, that God never asked me to activate on. And then I'm wondering why I'm having to strive in my own strength during that year. And so I just want to be sure with you guys that you are setting a goal. You're setting goals You're laying them out for what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So like, who do you want to become? How do you want to feel in 2025? What are the goals you want to accomplish? How do you want to see your life like adjust and transform and get better? Like, what do you want that to look like? So write down all of your goals. Just do a brain dump. Don't worry about like, oh, am I going to do this one this year or next year? Or when am I going to do that? Write it all down. Brain dump all of your ideas onto a piece of paper. So another thing I want to mention, like, I'm just trying to be as real as possible with you guys, because there's been times I haven't been real with myself, okay? And so a question I also want you to ask is, as you're looking, now that you're looking at your like brain dumped list of goals, I want you to ask yourself, what will these goals cost me? What will I have to give up in order to achieve these goals? And an example of that is with my content creation goals that I have this year, y'all, I actually may have to spend less time with my friends. Does that suck? Yes. Am I willing to not give it up, like completely hang out with my friends at all, but am I willing to give a pause to it? Am I willing to spend some of that extra time that I was spending with them on the goals that I have? Yes, I am. And so I think that's something you have to ask yourself is, what is this goal going to cost you? And are you willing to like stand on that? Are you willing to like allow that to cost you when those moments come? You know what I mean? Like, so some people, you may have a goal of losing some weight. Maybe for you, it's going to cost you eating at your mom's house every week, or taking home her leftovers and all the different things, because you know that's not in your meal plan. You know what I mean? And so it sucks. I'm not saying it's easy, and that's the whole thing about goal setting and the whole thing about it. Like, I would love to say, y'all, it's gonna be so easy. We're gonna have a great year if we just, do whatever we want to do. That's not the case. That's not the case. And so you have to be able to stand on your ground and say, okay, I know this is gonna cost me it doesn't mean you can't go spend time with your mama, like, okay, or your family on Sundays, but I'm saying maybe eat before you go. You see what I'm saying? Or be sure you don't eat that food because you don't know that it's exactly aligned with your meal plan. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, so what is it going to cost you? I want you to look at that list, and what is it going to cost you? I need you to decide if you're willing to pay that price. If you're not, then that's not a goal you're willing to go after, and that's okay. Something else I want to add to that part is I want, here we are a faith-based channel, we're a faith-based community, so I want you to be sure to pray over your goals and pray and ask God, hey God, if there's anything on this list that is not in your will, that is not in alignment with what you want for me, that is not like something you want me to go after even in 2024. Maybe it's a 2026 thing, or sorry, 2025, but maybe it's a 2026 thing, 2029 thing, who knows? But ask and pray and like sit with that for a minute and say, God, is there anything on this list that you don't want me to go after? And if there is, reveal that to me. Okay? Be sure you're praying over your goals, so that way we're not confused when we're literally working in our own strength once those actual goals come, because we set them by ourselves. Okay? So be sure you are consulting God, you're praying, you are reading your Bible, you're in your devotional, you're spending quality time with him to understand, like, what has he called you to do? And I think that goes back to what I was saying before of me trying to implement other people's like goals and strategies and who they were and what I saw they were doing, and I thought it was so cool. But was it for me? No. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. It's great to take inspiration. It's different from being like, okay, well, that's what I want and that's what I'm going for, when you ain't even prayed about that, and God got you down a whole different level to hit all these other people, this totally different demographic of people, and yet you're focused on someone else's journey. So I'm saying to you, pray to make sure that these goals are in alignment with you and are in alignment with him, so that you guys can partner together for 2025 and have the best year ever. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, still in number 2, is I want you to look at your brain dump list, and I want you to kind of like start to narrow them down. Again, ask your question on every single goal that you wrote down. Am I willing to pay the price? Am I willing to pay the cost? If you don't know what the cost is, if you don't know, okay, what is it gonna look like for me to lose 50 pounds this year? Okay, that may look like again, not eating at my mama's house, like not actually eating there every Sunday or like 2 times a week. That may mean less time with friends because I'm in the gym. It may mean, you know what I mean, like not like, instead of me and my friends going out to restaurants to hang out, we go on walks. You know what I mean? Like, it depends. And so like, ask yourself, am I willing to pay that cost for every single goal that you've brain dumped? And now I want you to kind of tailor down that list that you have, okay? I want you to kind of split it out. How we're going to do this is 2 to 3 goals per quarter, all right? Now, sometimes your goals may like linger into the next quarter, and that's okay. I'll explain all that to you guys in just a second. However, I want you to kind of pare them down. So like, have the amount where it's like 2 to 3 per quarter. It's very, very important. That's another mistake I made in the past, is trying to do all the things at one time. And I don't know why I've done this, because I proved to myself time and time again, that's not my strength. That's not where, no. So where's the confusion on that part? I don't know. I just feel like I'm like the special unicorn, and you probably do too, that you're the exception. We're not, okay? We're not. That's okay. So now that we have our goals kind of pared down a bit, I want you to split those up into quarters. And honestly, again, keeping it simple, I want you to focus on quarter one. Focus on quarter one only. So your first 12-week year, I want you to focus on that. What are 2 to 3 goals that you want to go after in the first quarter of 2025? And when I say quarter, that's January, February, March, okay? That's it. What are the things you want to hit? And when I say that, I don't mean work out more. I want to know how many times, like, no. The goal is, and let me break this down for you guys, because like actions, like the actual tactics you're going to take, we're going to detail all of that out. But the actual like goal that you want to accomplish, say for example, you want to lose 20 pounds, right? Say for the year, you want to lose, I don't know, for the sake of easy math, I'm going to say 40 pounds, okay? So you want to lose 40 pounds in 2025. I want you to put on your first quarter goal that I want to lose 10 pounds in my first 12-week year, in my first quarter. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I want you to put down on your list, because you're gonna go after that. And then we're gonna write down, okay, that means I'm gonna work out 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to follow my meal plan. I'm gonna be sure I get 90 ounces of water in a day. I'm gonna be sure that whatever else. Okay, you get my point. But the goal and the tactics are 2 separate things that we're about to like outline and all that good stuff. But yeah, and I want us to pause, and for some accountability, I want you to drop down at least one of your quarterly goals, one of your like first quarter goals. I want you to put it in the comment section for me. Let's have some accountabilities. We can check back at the end of March and see how are we doing on our goals. Did the 12-week year, did the kind of this method, did this strategy work for us? And if it didn't, what went wrong? You know what I mean? So like comment down below one of your first quarter goals. If you wanna, you know, spice it up, comment all of them down below. Only 3. Remember, we're only going to 3 things for this first quarter. Comment them down below. So now that your goals are listed out for the quarter, okay, again, just 3 of them. I keep emphasizing this because I know myself, okay? So 3 goals, even if you're like, well, I can squeeze this. No, you can't. 3 goals maximum, all right? So put them down below, and then, write them on your paper or type them, whatever you're doing. And then now what we're gonna do is we're going to detail again out specifically what are the actions that I need to take to hit this goal by this time, okay? What are the actions I need to take? If you don't know those actions, Google them, okay? Look them up. Do some research. Ask ChatGPT, she's my girl, okay? I love me some ChatGPT. Ask her, how many pounds can I lose in 3 months if I do it sustainably? You know what I mean? Like, ask, figure out what the action plan is, and then write it down. And then all you have to do once the year comes is follow the plan, okay? We are a team. Stick to the plan. Forget your feelings, okay? Stick to the plan. Not forget your feelings, but don't mind your feelings, okay? Don't mind all that, because your brain is wired to keep you safe, to keep you protected. Your brain is not necessarily wired to do new things, because that seems like a danger, okay? So I want you to think about, when it comes to your goals, when it comes to the emotions that are tied to that, when it comes to just the emotions that are tied outside of that. And as women, we have our luteal phases and our periods and all the different things, okay? However, how do we do it despite of, okay? How do we have those feelings and still go after what we want, even with those big feelings, okay? Okay, so now that you have your goals all detailed out, your next step is I want you to add the actual things to your calendar, okay? Whether that's a digital calendar, whatever. I personally like a paper calendar that I got from Target. Love Target down for their planners, okay? And I want to write down all the things that I need to do on a daily basis in order to hit my goals, okay? Again, it doesn't need to be this overwhelming amount of stuff where you're not going to get it done, but what do I do on a daily basis? So if I say I'm working out 3 times a week, I'm gonna put that 3 times a week on my calendar. And here's the thing, you can remain flexible. Say something comes up or someone needs you on that Tuesday when you're supposed to work out, move your workout date to the next day, okay? Figure it out. It's still flexible, and I think that's where I also messed up before too, was thinking I gotta follow this strict structure. There's a difference between structure and flexibility. You know what I mean? Like structure and like, you know what I mean? Like flow. So it's okay if things come up, but just be sure you're still hitting your goals at the end of the day. And if you're not, maybe you need to add a 4-time-a-week workout the next week. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So number 6, you guys, is to simply keep score of your progress. Keep score of your actions, okay? That way you can really determine are my actions that I'm saying I want to take towards my goal working? Because listen, I used to have clients inside of my infinite audience program that I love, and eventually I will open the program back up. Okay, eventually. Okay. Anyway, so I used to have clients I used to coach, and a big thing I used to have to tell them whenever they'd be like, "Oh, it's not working. It's not working." I'm like, "Okay, tell me the actions that you took to create this belief that it's not working." Because a lot of times we have these goals, or we have these like aspirations, and we think we're putting effort towards them, but we're not. Like, we're literally not. Like, we're not doing the things that is required. So I would ask them, okay, cool, what does your SEO strategy look like? Did you use your tags and your keywords and like update your description bar? And like, did you do this? Did you research the title or research the topic before you filmed it? Like, well, no, I didn't. Okay. You know what I mean? And I say that because you're going to eventually discourage yourself from going after anything because you feel like nothing is working, when the entire time it's you that is not implementing the plan. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily the plan's not working. Typically it's you, and it's an execution gap. A lot of people know how to lose weight. Eating a calorie deficit. That's literally it. But it's so much more complicated than that because there's actions that have to go a part of it. So I'm just saying, keep a log of the actions that you are actually taking to get you to your goal. That way you don't give up on this goal prematurely. Okay, that way you're like, well, it's just not for me. Bookie, it is. If you want to be a content creator, you'll be a daggum content creator, okay? If you want to have X amount of followers on YouTube or X amount of followers on Twitch or whatever your goal is, there are action steps that you have to take in order to get that. And you have to be honest and real with yourself on hey, did I take those actions? No? Okay. Then understand why. Understand what happened. What were those barriers? And how do we adjust for next time? How do we adjust next week? So we are looking like weekly. I want you to look at your actions that you took that week and say, okay, how did I do according to the plan? All right? Because a lot of times, this is why I'm so big on setting a plan. And then that way, all you have to do is follow it. Now, when I say all you have to do, that's literally the hardest part. Again, okay, that's literally the hardest part, the execution. But I need you to commit to yourself in 2025 that I am going to do everything that I said I am going to do to reach these goals. Okay? I understand things come up. I understand life happens. I get all that. I understand that. But there's reasons why top performers are top performers. There's reasons why people who have the success and the aspirations and the dreams that the dreams that they fulfilled, they have that stuff. Why? Because they took action. Okay? So I know we can have all the excuses, all the reasons as of why we can't do it, but instead I want you to look at it and be like, why can't I? How can I make this happen? Even with me working a full-time job, even with me having a crazy schedule, even with me not having as much time or whatever the things can be, I promise you there's somebody with the exact same cards that you were dealt that are literally prospering because they decided to take action. Okay? So I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you to the moon and back. And if nobody else has told you I love you today, I got you, okay? I love you, and let's make 2025 our best year yet. Set them goals. Listen, rewatch this video if you need to so that you can have everything laid out by the end of this video. Let's do it, all right? Action, tactics, follow the plan. Stick to the plan, not your feelings, all right? I love you guys to the moon and back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.